is good, everybody? What is happening? We are back. We are back. So, welcome in, welcome in. As we got the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Boston Celtics. My cat getting in trouble. So, Nikhil, this month of January, averaging 21. He has never averaged 20 points. Hasn't averaged double digits. So, Nikhil's leap. Shout out to Nikhil. So, as we get started, let's look at our matchup. So, Boston comes in. They are I believe they're about third in the East, might be fourth, but I believe they're third in the East and at 25 and 15. Atlanta is 20 and 23, so 500 is right there. Uh, so Jalen is still leading the Hawks in all three categories: points, rebounds, and assists. 23 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists for Jalen Johnson. So Jalen's having a great year so far. Uh, Comes in the number one defensive rebounding forward. Not even forward, just number one defensive rebounder. He has the most defensive boards throughout the league. So Jalen's been going to work there, picking up big slack for Atlanta in that end. I think it kind of goes unnoticed. I think a lot of people focus on his defense and what they claim is a lack thereof defense, but um, I think Atlanta. excuse me. I think Atlanta. I think Atlanta looks a little different if they have a paint protector. I think Jalen was used to having a Clint Capella back there as well, holding it down. But we'll see, man. I think Jalen's gonna adjust and be just fine. I think the Hawks are gonna be just fine too. A lot of Hawks fans are in I guess turmoil right now. They are. There's tumultuous times in Hawks fandom because it's a lot of infighting, man. A lot of fans aren't pleased with the moves, but it is what it is. I will say, man, it has been looking a little bleak for Atlanta. I can't lie. Um, as Atlanta comes in 20 and 23, I think fans are just ready for this team to be good. I think they are right on the precipice. Um, so yeah, we got Wi-Fi troubles here. So sorry if I'm lagging. So they're just running through the history of Atlanta versus Boston. A lot of those matchups contained Larry Bird and Dominique Wilkins. So neither team has had a talent quite like that. So a little look ahead at tonight's matchup. Dyson is out. Zach is still out. Kristaps is still out. So Atlanta did sign forward center Christian Coloco to a two-way deal. So he is unfortunately with the Skyhawks. So no Coloco appearance, unfortunately. I thought he would get a chance kind of immediately. So not the case. So Atlanta comes in. They do need a dub. Not desperately. I don't think Atlanta's at the desperate time quite yet. But yeah, that Dejounte game when it was tough. Dejounte dropped 44 on him. Yeah, what memories? So Atlanta comes in 20 and 23. They are sitting at third in their division, so behind Miami and Orlando. Just by a total of 4 games, they're sitting out that number one spot. So very much it's obtainable. I think Atlanta has a chance. So we'll see. We'll see. So All Star break coming up is right around the corner. Um, Still haven't gotten the results. I don't know when we'll get the All Star first starters results. The first results back, but hopefully Jalen might be a part of them as in some nature. But I don't know. All Star break is a little weird this year anyway, so I'm not sure if I'll be quite tuned in. So We are about to get tipped off. I'm a little behind on the broadcast. Well, it's just because the broadcast is a little delayed. So, scorecard might be a little bit ahead of us. So, Keta, I think that's how you pronounce it. So, Celtics in white and gold, Atlanta in their peach tree jerseys. First possession for the Celtics is a miss. All right. First possession for the Hawks might come up empty, but CJ McCollum saves it. It's 2-0. So first bucket for McCollum is up and good. So CJ averaging 18 points this season. Hasn't really had the smoothest transition coming to play for Atlanta. I think. I mean, he's probably doing what he's been told to do. So you can't be mad at that. But fans, I know, are not really too excited. But I think once the team is kind of filled out, injuries are kind of, I guess, not an issue per se. Jalen can't get that first three, but I think once Atlanta starts looking normal, they'll be all right. CJ will be looking and playing minutes that are playing minutes and also contributing at a more, I guess that's probably what it would look like more. We'll say once Zach is back, once KP is back, the volume of shooting will probably go down for sure. So Boston gets their first three to go. It's 3-2 as Onyeka attacks. Cannot find his touch around the rim on his first shot. So Boston comes in. Will kind of pay attention to the offensive rebounds because they do crash the glass the most. They're one of the top five teams at sending folks to the glass to crash the board. I believe they're number two. So for Atlanta, they'll definitely have to pay attention to that and try to collect all the defensive rebounds they can as possible. Celtics misses like this long three. Yep, that's going that way. As the Celtics get it, Adrian, what's happening? Appreciate you tapped in. It's going well, man. It's going well. How you doing this Saturday? It's been a good day so far. We're watching this Atlanta Hawks versus Boston Celtics game. Um, as V Crazy puts up the triple, can't get it to go. But yeah, we just tapped into this game. Doing a little watch along. Appreciate you tapped in there, brother. As Jalen Brown gets the pull up three to go, that's gonna be as I speak. Um, Keita gets a offensive bucket or offensive board in the bucket off of Jalen Brown's missed three. So that's gonna be Boston's game plan for sure. Just shoot the three, get the board, and get an easy either putback or just kick back out for another three. As Nikhil gets a good find there, finds on Yucca. CJ can't get that long ball to go. Uh, I'm gonna be struggling with his name with Queta. I'm not sure. Yeah, Boston's gonna get them up. They're definitely gonna get the three ball up. So watch out, Jalen. Oh, no foul is crazy work. But Sam Hauser kicks it to Jalen Brown, and Jalen Brown cuts it and gets an easy bucket on the transition for Boston. A good move by Onyeka. He hits him with a pass fake, gets a shot up, and gets it to go. So for Atlanta, it is a little shorthanded night. They did call up Caleb Houston and Ray J. Dennis, the somewhat newly acquired Ray J. Dennis, as Sam Hauser knocks down a three, a wide open triple. So Hawks find themselves down 10-4. Timeout, Atlanta. We'll see how it goes. My fault, man. My head itch. It feel good itch. I can't lie. So it's 10-4, man. It's I wouldn't say good or bad. I don't know. I think Atlanta kind of started out a little flat. So, which is kind of typical. These last couple games have been not the strongest starts for the Hawks. Um, the Laker game and the Portland game were both just. I think Atlanta was just tired at the end of their road trip. So they had a 4 game road trip out west. I thought it was 5. I was tripping. But a little 4 game road trip. They won the first 2, lost the back end of it, which isn't like something to go crazy about. I think it was kind of a splitting that road trip is probably the best thing Atlanta could do. So Atlanta finds themselves back at the crib. Um, so we'll see how this one goes. Boston is a tough opponent, man. I think they weren't like I wasn't. I'm not fully surprised. Boston's 25-15, but the fact they're doing this well, I definitely am surprised that they're doing this well. So you gotta give credit where credit's due. So Atlanta kind of struggling right now as well. They are kind of having a what you call it. They have kind of gotten hit with the injury bug recently. Now Dyson has a sprained ankle. Unfortunately, he sprained his ankle last game. So Dyson is out. Ricochet is still out with that bone bruise. Kristaps Porzingis, the recently acquired Boston center, he is he's dealing with left Achilles tendonitis. So it has been a journey for Atlanta injury wise. It's been a little tough. They cannot seem to catch a break. First it was Trey, and then everybody was shocked with the Trey Young trade news. So we lost Trey for good. There was no just wait till we get Trey back. There is no more of that. So it's just been one thing after another for Atlanta. The roster has not been the healthiest. It started off pretty good. We were just dealing with Kristaps Porzingis being out, and then Atlanta lost their third string center in Folly Dante. I don't think he would have been a game changer for Atlanta, but I really do think he would have helped out Atlanta in the center department. Even though I really don't think he would have been like the most impactful player out there for the Hawks, but I think he would have made an impact in some way. So it's just tough to think what if. And V. Krejci after the timeout cannot get the bucket. It's a decent look, but Boston playing some good defense there. As Nikhil Alexander Walker is D'ing up Derek White. And CJ McCollum gets a strip on Jaylen Brown, and Jaylen Brown's crying for a foul. And that's a bucket as Nikhil Alexander Walker scores on the break from that CJ steal. So defense to offense is going to be a big thing for Atlanta. I think a big thing too last game. Even the Laker game, Atlanta was missing a lot of shots at the rim. I don't have a percentage in front of me, but I know the eye test you could really tell, especially the like the Laker game, but especially the Portland game. Atlanta just was not hitting any bunnies. So hopefully Atlanta gets some sort of better looks here and they convert because that should be an offensive foul. Jaylen Brown got the extension. But like I was saying, Atlanta missing layups, that's going to result in a lot of fast breaks, as fast breaks are probably, if not started by a breakaway steal, off a missed shot, as Jalen gets blocked on that lay by Sam Hauser, Nikhil, and and CJ are back. But all right, cool. Celtics miss on that three, so Jalen gets a redemption here as he drives, finds Nikhil on the wing. Nikhil lines it up for three. So 19 to 14 as Nikhil knocks down his first three. That's 1 for 1 from three. As Atlanta is shooting a total of 1 of 4 from three. So they're shooting 25% here early on. Cicada gets blocked by Jalen. He's looking for a foul. Onyeka gathers it, finds Jalen for the break. Jalen whips it over to Nikhil. Nikhil finds Veet. Veet struggles, finds Onyeka. Onyeka gets the float to go. So Onyeka finding his rhythm fairly quick, which is going to be important for Atlanta. 14 to 11. I say it's going to be important because Onyeka has been a huge for Atlanta, the only center on the roster at the moment. As I've spoken on Atlanta's injury troubles, it's just been a tough go. Kristaps came into the season. If you were kind of aware of the Kristaps Porzingis lore of the past couple of years, he's been dealing with not like a really a couple years ago it was a mystery illness, but now it was diagnosed as POTS, so POTS. He was diagnosed with POTS. So Kristaps has kind of been dealing with some sort of illness, and then recently he's been dealing with Achilles tendonitis. So we came into the year, if you were kind of aware that Kristaps was not going to be available for the typical 70, 60 games players play. He's going to be more so around that 50-ish range. Um, so kind of coming into the season with that in mind, you knew he wasn't gonna be the guy if you were kind of aware of his situation. But if you weren't, you were expecting him to be there all the time. Even if you were a Hawks fan, that's not as tapped into what's going on around the league or even with the team per se. Yeah, it's just we weren't planning on a lot of Kristaps, but I think that's why N'Faly Dante going down is almost more impactful for Atlanta. There's he was, I would say, second and a half center. Because if Onyeka is I think Onyeka is a starting caliber center. He just needs a backup that can come in and hold it down, and they can play minutes together. Because Onyeka can stretch the floor for sure. But he just needs a center that can guard that back line and hold down that dunker spot and help anchor down that defense to come in behind him and play. Because Onyeka is a good defender. He's good at guarding. I would say shoot 1 through 5 low key on the perimeter. He is not a center that's really a liability out there. He's not no Rudy Gobert out there, but he's not Dyson Daniels on the perimeter. But still, for being 6'9", 6'10", like it's he's got excellent movement. He's agile, and he does a lot of things well. I think that's kind of unorthodox for centers to do. So I think that's a big thing. Why I kind of buy into Onyeka. He gives Atlanta a totally different look. I think Atlanta should keep buying into that. He is a starter right now because KP is not. I really don't think there's a center in the league that can come through and take on Yeka's spot. I'm sure people can give me options, but at the end of the day, it's all opinion based until we see it. So Jaylen Brown hits the side of the board. Mo Gay collects the rebound. So it's a couple subs in for Atlanta. As Mo Gay is getting some PT, Keaton Wallace finds himself in there, and Luke Kennard is in. As CJ McCollum, questionable drive. Jaylen Brown gets out on the break, finds the corner. That three is no good. Luke guards are fighting for that board, can't get it. So great stuff. Keaton Wallace in there helping out. So it is 14 to 11 right now on my broadcast. Sorry if I'm a little bit behind the scorecard there that y'all are seeing, but broadcast, I can't do nothing about that. Broadcast just a little behind. So Atlanta shooting a total 5 of 13 from the field. So Atlanta has to turn that around for sure. As Boston has one more field goal, um, 6 of 16. So as Jalen Brown gets a little step back, gets that to go from the mid range. So it is 16 to 11, 4:37 to go as Jason Tatum is on the bench for the Celtics. So Luke Kennard in, swings to Keaton. Keaton driving against Anthony Simmons, and Keaton Wallace in and out. Just can't find a range from midi. So Keaton guarding Simmons as Simmons comes off the bench for the Celtics. Finds Garza. Garza finds old boy in and out. So good stuff. Like I said, Atlanta has to crash the boards against Boston. You can't allow them second chance opportunities. And you have to make your shots too. You cannot afford empty possessions. As CJ gets it up, can't get it to go, but he gets fouled. So it's 16 to 11 as Atlanta's trailing by 5. 3:59. It's just five, man. It's just five. First quarter, almost over with. A little under 4 minutes to play. All right, all right. So CJ's yet to find his ground. I think that'll change though. Jalen Brown finds the rhythm for three. So it is 19 to 13 now. Jalen Brown has 11 points. Crazy. CJ can't get it to go. Keaton gathers the miss. Unfortunately, loses it, but Moge there to gather it. Jalen goes up, gets it up at least. There we go. He gets a shot up, but can't get it to go. Unfortunately, that was a nice little runner. But Corey Kispert checking in the game for CJ McCollum. It is now 19 to 13. Atlanta only finds himself down by 6. I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta pulls this out low key. Um, it's a good Boston team. I think if Atlanta plays their brand of basketball, they should be able to get a dub. As Nikhil gets it up, can't get it to go, and that's going to be Celtic basketball. Atlanta has a chance to surprise them, and I don't think it'll be like any type of dominant win, but so we got 250 some left in this first quarter. It's Corey Kispert. Fouls Luke Garza, and Luke Garza rolls it in. Yeah, man. I don't know. It might be tough, a little stretch here for Atlanta. Um, and I don't think that's any indication of what direction that this team is going to go in. But I really think it's more so because of the injuries and the unavailable players the Hawks have right now. Uh, I think Ricochet is. Jalen Brown lucked up, man. They called a foul. He got bailed out. So 21-15, Hawks still trailing by 6. But like I said, I really think once Atlanta's roster starts to shape out and they have their guys available, I think results will definitely look different in games. Uh, but right now, I really don't. I can't really panic, to be honest. It's whatever at this point because I know Atlanta's not going out there with their whole team. The only time I'll be upset for real, The only time I'll be upset is if Atlanta does go through with these trades with Ricochet and Porzingis, like all the reports and stuff are saying. Even though Mark Stein, um, who's kind of doing like the Dallas side of things, it's not really nationally being followed. It's just kind of reports here and there are being mentioned when it's national news. But on the Hawks side and Dallas side, it's been reported that Atlanta's unwilling to include Zachary Richey and obviously that 2026 first projected pick. But it's just, I don't know. It might be terrible timing that Richey's out. Um, but also another spin on it, if you want to look at it for trade purposes, Atlanta could be giving other teams opportunities to like obviously Chris Stapps is established. I think teams kind of know what they're gonna get with that, but it could be an opportunity for Atlanta to showcase other guys like Luke Kennard. He has been mentioned in rumors. He has an expiring contract, so him and KP have always been in the package. It's just been recently that Dallas was interested in Ricochet, but I think to me, Hawks reporters like Brad Rowland, and even Mark Stein, he's not a Hawks reporter, but I follow Brad Rowland for any Hawks news, like official news. So I follow him, and he kind of has poured cold water on the Ricochet thing, stating that the front office really hasn't shown any indication of offering up Ricochet, and they haven't really stated or they have stated, oh my God, Moge fouls Jalen Brown. That's a prayer, dog. He not making that, dog. Just put your hand up, dog. You ain't need to slap down, homie. So unfortunate stuff as Hawks are still trailing by 3 or 6. But yeah, it'll be interesting. That's the only time I'll be upset with Atlanta. I was hurt that Trey left, uh, and knowing that but knowing that it was more so like mutual, and I mean it was led by Atlanta, kind of making that decision, but Trey understood it per se. Um, so luckily it was more so. It was smooth, man. The departure was smooth. The face of the franchise leaving typically isn't that smooth. It's kind of a ugly process. So thankfully it's not that bad. So it's gonna be it'll be interesting. But yeah, I hope Atlanta just makes a good choice, whatever they do. So Richie's out, KP out. Um, Dyson is out this game. He sprained his ankle last game, so that's obviously going to affect this result possibly, unless Atlanta can find some offense and defense from elsewhere. So Jalen collects the board, and he gets fouled immediately. But yeah, I mean it's not impossible. Atlanta can get those efforts elsewhere. They still got Nikhil, so they do have a point of attack defender. Um, and then what you call it? They got other people to step up too. But yeah, maybe it is. If you spin it a certain way, as Jalen finally picks up a foul, I feel like he got to work extra for these foul calls at the rim. So maybe one day we'll get them superstar calls. As Jalen is probably projected to make his first All Star break. Oh yeah, that's a foul like crazy. So Jalen going to the line, man. Hawks have been questionable at the line as Jalen missed the first one. Like I said, so questionable. As Jalen misses his first one at the line, I'm sure he's gonna knock down the second one because he's not a bad free throw shooter, man. The Hawks has just kind of cursed on that. Because even CJ hasn't even been shooting well at the line. And overall, he's been a good shooter at the line for his career too. So think it's just a little jinx, man. Once Atlanta gets out their head, they'll be all right, bro. Oh my God, what do you want them to do? So Jalen Brown is single-handedly carrying the Celtics right now. He has 18 points. Atlanta has a total score of 18. Like the fact that they called that a foul is crazy work. They could have just left that as a no call and went about their day. So Atlanta's trailing by 10. It's gonna be a tough one, man. I think we all knew that. Um, as Jalen Brown misses the free throw, he cannot convert that 3-point play. Jalen finds Onyeka running up the floor. Onyeka hands it off to Nikhil. Nikhil lines it up for three. It's 21-28. 50 seconds to go in that first quarter. So Anthony Simmons brings it up, kicks it to Jalen Brown. Jalen operating the offense for Boston. As Corey Kispert plays, as good as defense you can ask from Corey Kispert. So Hugo Gonzalez makes the bucket, gets it to go as Corey Kispert now is operating for Atlanta. Stripped on the drive. Fadeaway is good. It rattles in. So 23-30, 22 seconds, no shot clock. Boston is going to try to have the last possession. I'm sure Nikhil is going to have some sort of effect. So Atlanta, they are forced to switch. Luke Kennard's guarding. Now it's switch on Jalen Johnson. So we'll see. So Luke Kennard is switched on Jalen Brown. And no bucket. Jalen Brown's switch does not work. So Atlanta's trailing by 7. They almost got it back to 6. So Atlanta ends the first quarter trailing by 7, which is not bad with how Atlanta played. So Atlanta did a good job with ball security. They only had one turnover there in that first quarter. But unfortunately, Boston is still holding on to a 7-point lead. It's mainly because Atlanta is shooting 35% from the field. So if Atlanta was shooting, 40s to, maybe 50, they would probably win this game pretty easily. CJ is 1 of 5. Excuse me, I read a notification, but other than that, CJ slow start. Veet, kind of. It's kind of been the story of Veet's starting tenure right now. These past couple games, he's been a little quiet. He has 0 points at the moment, which I'm sure that'll change. But Veet's filling in for Rishi Shea, so it's a whole new look. This starting lineup is a whole new look. It's CJ, Nikhil, Veet, Jalen, Onyeka. So that was the starting 5 for Atlanta. Atlanta's kind of struggling right now with their injuries. As Dyson was popped up a little late, I think he popped up yesterday with a sprained ankle. He was questionable, and coming into today, he was questionable. So we'll see, man. We will see how it goes and how it pans out. But as of right now, man, it is trouble in Atlanta. On the injury front, I really don't feel the need to be a doomer quite yet, to be honest. I don't think the season is down the drain. I think if you tend to lean it more so in the negative thoughts, it's a whole lot easier to just toss this season and all the expectations we have for it. But with expectations, man, you can only expect to be let down with those. Cause low key, I know I had some sort of expectations, and I think that's all right. But you gotta realize, especially like with basketball, bro, you can't really, you can't have those expectations. You can't really take them serious, dog. You can't. It's just gonna hurt you. You're gonna end up taking it personal that they not successful. You're gonna get mad. You're gonna be lashing out on the internet. So I think it's best to I think it's best to just let it rock out, and how it goes is how it goes, whether it's good or bad or mid, which Atlanta's been dealing with mid. How's Onyeka not getting fouled, man? Atlanta is not getting any type of call. Oh, good drive, Nikhil, and Nikhil gets it to go. So Nikhil saving Atlanta right now. He has 10 points, 4 or 5 from the field. That was a good move on Onyeka, how he got out there. Simmons lines up and knocks it down, unfortunately. So Luke Kennard got the ball looking to make something. He hand off from Moe. Got the midi up and gets it to go. So it's 27 to 33. 11 minutes, there's been a minute played in this second quarter. They're trying to hold on to a side. Make it pretty simple. Later, rise up. He misses. He breaks the fail. It's good defense by Mo. Great pass by Nikhil. Finds a cut. Moge just throws it down. So it is now a 5-point deficit for the Hawks. It's only a 5-point lead for the Celtics. Let's get it. Let's get it, man. As Anthony Simmons rise up, cannot get it to go over on Yeka, and Moge cleans up the board. Nikhil finds Kispert. Kispert's a little short there on that triple, and Atlanta's unable to come away with that. Hauser, yep. Top readjust and buries the triple. Quinn Snyder hollering at Nikhil, and Nikhil getting to the bucket. He is saying, let's go. As it's looking to play with pace, it appears. And which makes sense, man. They aren't the greatest team in the half court. Obviously, people are gonna say, "Well, you had Trey Young." I mean, they did have him, but they decided to move off Trey. So they have to face these challenges with in the present, man. They can't look at what they did. They just gotta look at it to improve. Um, I mean, and you gotta think, man. Atlanta is the number one team in assists. So with like that being said, as I think two things can be true. I think Atlanta. I think Atlanta would have been better in areas with Trey Young. I think they're better in areas without Trey Young. I think overall, Trey's a top 5 point guard in the league. If to me, he's my favorite point guard in the league. So before I go off, Trey point guard in the league. Just in terms of, man, like you gotta think he's 6'1", so like he's my height, bro. He's 6'1", doing these things in the league, bro. As Nikhil cannot get that later. But Trey was 6'1", doing the things in the league at my height, bro. So it's special. It's special to see. As Celtics offense is clicking and the finals down by 10. We're close by 5, now they're down 10. We got some out here. Atlanta's struggling. Gonna be a tough one for the Hawks as we see. But I mean, still a 10-point game. Second quarter. Got plenty of time. But like I said, man, it's just different. It's obviously gonna be different without Trey. But you gotta think Atlanta number one in they are number one in assists per game this year. Assists per game. So Atlanta definitely doesn't need additional point guard to kind of carry the load. Distributing the ball, Atlanta. Um, damn, Denver Bills. Oh, the Bills. Oh yeah, Josh is a Bills seen all Super Bowl, bro. I don't care, bro. People can hit Atlanta with the 28-3. But like low key, bro. Bills 4 in a row and they have not been back since. So that's crazy, bro. That is crazy. Versus the dub. Oh wow, that's wild. Whew. One step having walk over it. Can't fit that day. But anyway, back to what I was going yeah about. Atlanta, I mean, what I was saying, excuse my friends, I apologize. But like I was saying, Atlanta just check this real quick. So Nikhil has 40 scoring this season, most in his career. Like I said, shout out to Nikhil's production increase. But that's another testament to maybe why Atlanta don't for Nikhil's. I really don't think he was the sole reason. But Nikhil went from 9 points to 20. Something you gotta pay attention to. You can't just turn a blind eye to that. Atlanta chose to, and Jalen Johnson's production, handling the offensive responsibilities of distributing and kind of scoring. It's been a good result so far, even though the record doesn't necessarily reflect it to most people. They're sitting at 23. Games 100 though is going into All-Star break. I'd rather be at 500 than chasing 500 by much amount of games. We still a couple weeks, so we'll see what it's looking like. But I honestly don't think it's gonna be going through a single game win or losing streak. We got a foul here. Corey Kispert gets fouled on three. It should be Corey Kispert. So let us, please, Corey Kispert. Oh my God, please, bro. All right. Yes, yes. We'll see. I would much rather go into All Star break. If y'all gonna be below 500, I'd rather be two, maybe 3 games below 500. I would prefer the Hawks go over 500. These injuries, you never know. What you call it? We haven't know about Zach or Chris Stapps. We just got informed that it'll be Zach was close to coming back. If it was the might have been like a game. It might be a game, but it was one of those games on the road. That's not a foul. It's okay to just pick Mo's pocket clean. The fact that it's not foul is actually insane. Corey Kispert finds a cutting Moge. Moge cannot get that to go, but Atlanta cannot buy whistle, bro. They just cannot get a foul call. And Derek White bears the truth. So Boston they're with Jaylen Brown bench. Their leading scorer is getting efficient. Jalen City up, not get it to go. So then by 12. 7 now 3 of 8, excuse me. So another star struggled in half court as they get more space on the lead. Boston does. Anthony Simmons and Jalen double teamed Gonzalez with Sandhauser team Jalen and the triple Anthony Simmons. So it's approaching a 20-point there for Atlanta. And I'm gonna try my best not to get negative. So might be some dark times on the internet to be a offense in despair of this if they do take a loss. So Boston's one of the best teams in the East, top three. Uh, Atlanta just hit with the injury bug at the wrong time, to be honest. No Dyson, Chris Stapps, no Riche. Like I said, man, if I really don't believe the reports that are saying, it's not even really reports that are out. It's just fans kind of speculating why Riche is out. But if Atlanta really does move on from that, I definitely will be kind of hurt. And I don't know, man. It'll be hard to check out, especially if this season really is a wash. Um, Going back to the expectation thing, I wasn't expecting Atlanta to win the championship or nothing. I think if best case scenario, things fall Atlanta's way. They don't get injured throughout the year. Kristaps Porzingis miraculously plays 60 plus games. Um, so yeah, you can say delusion, you can call it whatever you want, but I understood that was far fetched, and that was what if really like that's what if everything go right. Jalen Johnson breakout year, Dyson Daniels offensive leap, uh, Shea stepping up, and all that. So everything going right. That's a scenario in my head that was everything going right, and I understood that. But you know, I definitely expected Atlanta to be at least top six for sure, whether injuries or not. So Atlanta's gonna struggle this game, for sure. Boston still has, they still have contributing pieces. Jaylen Brown is still playing. He's playing at an MVP level. Um, Anthony Simmons is contributing. Luke Garza is contributing. You know, they're still missing Jason Tatum. So when Tatum comes back, it might be more dominant for the Celtics. You never. know. Kata is playing lights out for Boston. And, Atlanta's plagued with injuries right now. They're relying on CJ McCollum to contribute a lot of their offense. And I think relying on a 35 plus euro CJ McCollum is it's a decision, as Asa Newell was insane. But CJ McCollum, uh, getting fried right there. Unfortunately, Sam Hauser hits the bucket over him. I thought it was gonna be a good switch, but Asa Newell comes in and he impacts the game immediately. He knocks down his first triple, so that's much needed offense for Atlanta. Jalen on the break for Atlanta finds Corey Kispert trailing, and Corey Kispert knocks down the triple. Like I said, much needed for Atlanta. Lead is now cut to 14. So it's not as bad. It's not as bad as a result. So good stuff. Atlanta getting stops, and they are converting on the other end, making Boston pay. So that's exactly what Atlanta needs to do. So we got a timeout here. I'm gonna grab a water real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. Excuse me. All right. So Boston misses that. Atlanta coming out. JJ finds Kispert in the corner. Excuse me. CJ McCollum gets that three, and he misses everything. An almost turnover for the Hawks turns into a wide open Sam Hauser triple. So Atlanta is trailing by 19 again. Oh man, short-handed Hawks. It's back to the hospital days. Ace Newell quickly checks out for the Hawks. So it's a 19-point game, and things went left fast for the Hawks. It's tough sometimes because Atlanta doesn't really they don't help themselves out. When they aren't shooting that three ball, they just really don't adjust. They live by it or they die by it, and Atlanta just does not have that type of. They don't have that type of team right now. So, um, you know, with the injuries, and I don't think Trey. Yeah, I don't think Atlanta's gonna abandon it now that Trey's gone. I don't think he was like that indicative on the offense. I think he was kind of bought into the system and whatever coach was trying to preach. So as much as everybody wants to think it was a Trey centric offense, as Onyeka gets the bucket. It did run through Trey, but it wasn't like just ISO ball for Trey. Um, so 23. So yeah, result was kind of expected to be honest. But yeah, you just gotta realize Atlanta's playing with their a roster that's kind of limited. So I understand folks' frustrations. Nobody wants to get watch their team get 20 piece when they're just chilling. And Jalen Brown, yeah, that's crazy. At this point, it's just like a respect type thing, man. You gotta like as a team, bro. You coming in and letting this team smack you like this. It's you know. I think people are right to ask questions and start, respectfully. I think respectfully, they're right to question um, players and staff and front office. They're right to question them respectfully. As long as it's within a respectful manner. But whew, tough stuff for the Hawks right now though. It's 46-72. Nikhil gets the shot up, cannot get it to go. But yeah, like I was saying, man, Atlanta does not adjust as a philosophy overall. I think the players do a good job at kind of recognizing that their shot is not falling. But I think an overall scheme of the team is to find that three ball. So Sam Hauser has 18 points. He is 6 of 7 from 3-point land. So Atlanta's struggling there. Total of 6 of 18 from three. As CJ McCollum cannot get it to go. Jalen Brown, 27 points. He might mess around and outscore Atlanta for real. So CJ McCollum gets it up, gets it to go. He's good for like one or two explosive layups a game. That's about it. So CJ McCollum gets it up and gets it to go to stop somewhat of the scoring drought for Atlanta. Atlanta's trailing 77 to 48. Boston is on a 20-5 run at the moment, and CJ McCollum just gets stripped by Sam Hauser, and Sam Hauser lets it fly and connects. 21 points for Sam Hauser. It's 80 to 48, bruh. Atlanta is on the edge of giving up 100 points in the first half, dog. Like, at some point, it got to be, like, pride involved. At some point, like, pride has to be on the line right now. Y'all are giving up 80 points at the crib, bro. 80 points at halftime at the crib is crazy, bro. Like, that's insane. Look, man, I understand it's a shorthand of Hawks, man, but 80 points at the crib is 80 points at the crib, bro. 80 points at the crib. I understand, Brandon. I understand context. There is definitely context at hand to be understood, but yeah, bro. I was not expecting this, to be honest. So halftime. Let's just take a break, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'll be back. Alright, what's up, everybody? I had to take that halftime off, to be honest, dog. So my fault, my stream kind of lagging there. There we go. So it's a tough road for the Hawks right now. It's a tough road. So yeah, we're kind of laggy here. My fault, my fault. But as we kind of check back in, yes, it's a 31-point game. Atlanta did give up 82 points at in one half. That quarter, that second quarter, boy. Whew. 52 points in one quarter, bro. I get that it's a mix of things for the Hawks, um, including injuries. Really, that's the main thing. Atlanta doesn't have really anybody, but so let's hope Atlanta turns it around. Okay then, all right, the stream start incorrect. My apologies, y'all. The second is about to be underway, and we're just a lot of ride. It's 51-82. Game might be out of reach already, but it is only the second half. Start of the second half. It's gonna be a long, isn't it? So second half starts with a turnover, and then luckily Onyeka is there to clean that up for Atlanta, and that gives Atlanta a bucket. But yeah, it's gonna be a long night, isn't it? Tough. Yeah, it's Kata, just a dominant finish over crazy. It's gonna be a long night, y'all. It's gonna be a long night. So this watch along might be talking about a whole lot of other stuff other than this game. Unfortunately, as it is a 34-point deficit for the Hawks. um, the we should never trade crowd is going to be as loud as ever tonight. As Atlanta's defense has been total cheese. I mean, you also have to take it into account that Boston is hitting on a majority of their shots, man. As Jalen Brown lines up the triple and he just gets it to go. 30-foot triple just gets it to go. Jalen Brown has 32 points. You just have to take into account it's been a magnet ball for Boston as Atlanta gets a steal. They find a kill in the corner that is not gone. And Atlanta's yet to find a rhythm from outside. So that kind of explains why Boston is going to work. They're going outside to inside. Um, Kata is taking advantage of the lack of height for the Hawks, but it's just been tough. Whew. And injuries are really the main cause. Really, like that's really I think Atlanta would be a competitive team, really against any team if they were healthy. But being an Atlanta fan, you find that to be the phrase you are saying quite often. If they were healthy, if they were healthy. So No Dyson tonight. No Chris Stapps. No Reese Shea. So Onyeka's the only center. You're not gonna be a successful team facing the tougher opponents in the league. Obviously, Atlanta got a dub against Golden State and Denver, so an average Golden State team, an injured Denver team. So teams facing the same struggles, Atlanta kind of matches up all right. But teams that are fully healthy is going to be a different story. So Atlanta's struggling here. It is 55 to 92 after a 52-point third or second quarter for the Celtics as the three ball continues to fall for the Celtics as Hugo Gonzalez sidesteps Vit Krejci's closeout and knocks down the triple. And Atlanta continues to. I don't know, man. They're 7 of 21 from three. My thing is Atlanta doesn't adjust, man. I think some players do. But when nobody has a jump shot, I don't think Atlanta knows what to do. So yeah, I mean, there's no points in judging these losses, man. Like, there's no point. V. Krejci's out of his realm. Uh, I believe C.J. McCollum is out of his realm. As Onyeka buries that triple to not have it be at least 40 points. But it's understandable, man. It's understandable why Atlanta's struggling right now. But nationally, it's not gonna look good. Sam Hauser buries a triple to keep it at 40. But yeah, nationally, it's just not gonna be a good look. Honestly, as Jalen lines it up, gets it to go. Atlanta has. I mean, it could be a philosophy thing with Quinn Snyder. That Quinn Snyder's how he is trying to run the offense for Atlanta, but the fact that Atlanta has just gone to a pace team that just shoots threes and tries to play good defense is I just don't like the vision of it. When it works, it works, but when it's not working, like you have to go to like a plan B, dog, and um, I think with if Atlanta's plan A isn't working, they're gonna struggle to go to a plan B because they kind of I don't think they have that established quite yet. I think they rely a lot on the outside shot to fall, and if their outside shot's not falling, that interior is just gonna stay clogged. So Atlanta might look like a different team with Chris Stapps back and Reece Shea back. Obviously, they're gonna be different with Dyson back, but they are down by 39 points right now. So it's just tough to give grace. They've allowed 100 points, and I think we're not even halfway through the third quarter. Um, they Boston was about 18 points from 100 in the first half. So halfway, not even halfway through this third quarter, they've cracked the 100-point mark. So Derek White, another turnover, no communication for Jalen on that break. It's just all bad for Atlanta as Boston gets a three up, but they cannot get it to go. So Atlanta has numbers, but their numbers result in nothing. So we got a blocking foul on Derek White as Atlanta, finds at least something. But man, it's just like I don't know, man. I understand that the players out there are probably playing hard, but a 40 point 40 piece at the crib, a 40 piece at the crib is troubling. It is troubling. So I mean, if you're doing your only box score watching, it explains a lot why trailing. Has 16 he's 6 on field, from stealing on field, 4 turnovers. CJ 211, Nikhil 4 Vix. Bitch has not contributed much. Mo is 3, Asa 1 of 2, Luke is 1 of 2, but 5. It is dog. You really can't like do much else. Coach Quinn is playing. Quinn is playing guys that can he believes contributes the most. You know, he doesn't have more guys to do. Um, yeah, it's just man, it's bad when you're on the other history like that, man. 50 points is the most in the most give up in a full quarter in the playoffs. So I'm struggling to see injuries are playing ours, and it does make it difficult. It's definitely making it difficult for Atlanta. It's a difficult watch. I can't even like. But I'm like, man, we locked in here, and Jim, I appreciate everybody too long with us. Apologies for the for the Wi-Fi here is so apologies. But like I said, tough night all around. This little stretch. Last three games have not been the most. Atlanta did a good job kind of wrestling 7 game streak, kind of bounced back. Uh, three dubs here, and also them, they did a good job trying, even, but it's not gonna be more Atlanta. Please get this off, man. I hate it, bro. It is 40 fucking little boozy. That's on my fucking bro. Like, I understand. I get every time I have a stretch, but just it's tough, man. It's just tough to get smacked this on your get gather dunk. So interesting, man. Interesting to say the least. So Jalen Brown attacks and finally somewhat of a shot for most as the ball on it. So it's ball in base. So 52 and it's down 37. Jalen get paint. It's a short come up with the board. Goes to Boston. Jalen Brown gets a second attempt. He drops and the buzzer cleans up for Celtics. So no problem. Onyeka's triple in and out. Um, paint and that is 30 for 26 with Atlanta trailing by 10 in that point. Not terrible. So some of the departments, statistically, Atlanta is making it go to. You got to look at the three ball. Six are shooting 50%, and they're shooting at around 30 something. Yeah, 5 from 3. For Atlanta at 50% for Boston. So I mean, Boston one of those nights, man. On night we probably need them to have all they are open, and it's an easy case. My computer is struggling. My wife's do it. So my apologies, giving during Neil for not though. Lotus Beverly. Guards are nah. That's Hugo Gonzalez. So I mean, it just seems like let's time. Yeah, NBA season is a grind, and Hawks are short-handed right now, so you just gotta, I have to get him. It's tough to keep him frame of picture and smaller picture. Oh man, it was a game. In it, man. I ended up, but 40 points. Hold on, once again. Oh, brother. So, you 40 and free. You love to see 40. Oh man, whatever, dog. Whatever. You're crazy. I don't know either. So I guess it's true, but Jalen 11 points. Might as well empty the. I mean, Ace away. Let Ace can play. Let Corey and then let Logan play. At that point, just the guy. Um, James almost at 30 minutes in the middle. Then it's 30 seconds. The fourth quarter has not even begun. Man, it's a tough look for the Hawks right now. It's a tough look. Be crazy 104. Three, lead the ball. Not that's really Atlanta's been for. So it's unfortunate. I think over half, almost everybody's is three. Get to Jalen and on Yeka. Um, Yo has 7 from three. CJ is 5 from three. So oh man, I don't can't see you dog. I lied.